Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, as I'm getting myself organized here. Mr. Pro Tem, I'm going to try something tonight as a variance of something I've done now for years, but I'm going to try to walk through some of the math. But please understand, to anyone who's insane enough to watch this, particularly to staff here on Capitol Hill, I'm trying to treat people like adults. I'm not spinning you. I'm not going to give you the latest poll talking point. I'm not going to give you magic math. This is a moment where we desperately need to understand the scale of the problems. And please understand, you see the people come behind the microphones here on the floor, and there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of problems. But I will argue, though, the systemic threat to this republic is the math. So let's actually do something. First off, for anyone who actually doesn't have a life, I want to strongly encourage you, go to our office's website. I think it's Rep. David. And the reason for that is we've actually set up a little text message. You can sign up for it, and we call it the Daily Debt Update. And every single day, so 5 days a week, you will get a text message from me that says, hey, here's what we borrowed today and the interest cost. So here's what we borrowed per minute. You know, I break it up for a year, day, those things. And then I also say, and here's what we've borrowed so far this fiscal year. So we also give you a 364-day clock, so we get rid of timing effects. And then I'm going to show you what we've taken in what we call receipts. Some people call them tax revenues. That's wrong. Technically, government doesn't have revenues. We have tax receipts. And we have now several hundred people who've signed up for this. And the point is, you will get, if you got yesterday's, you'd see we're borrowing about 78,000 a second. 78,000 a second. And then try to explain to me there's not something horribly wrong. No, and one of the points I'm going to try to make here off these charts is the scale. So my brothers and sisters on the left basically turn to us and say, just tax rich people more. That will take care of it. Tax rich people more. They can read. It's their own economists who do these reports saying, well, that actually doesn't get you anywhere close to reality to deal with the gap. And I'm going to show you their own numbers. Now I need to throw some of my own side under the bus. A lot of my brothers and sisters here on the Republican side, we're going to say, well, if you would just cut this portion of discretionary spending, we'd make a big difference. No, you wouldn't.
Friends, this is good news. Congressional lawmakers are finally close to reaching an agreement. The odds of a government shutdown in January are beginning to lessen as House Republicans propose a new solution. But some analysts say this will have a negative effect on many that receive government benefits. My dearest friends, please do me a big favor and watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. Every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Ultra-conservatives in the U.S. House have softened their demands for deep spending cuts to domestic programs. This move heightens the odds that the two parties can reach a spending agreement and avert a January 20th partial government shutdown. The shift came after the House of Representatives have failed to pass bills at lower spending levels demanded by the House Freedom Caucus. That is a group of GOP hardliners with tremendous influence in the narrow Republican majority. The U.S. government is operating under a temporary spending bill passed this month that funds part of the government through January 19th and the rest through February 2nd. Differences between the Republican House and Democratic Senate threaten shutdowns after those dates. because new Speaker Mike Johnson has vowed not to pass any more temporary spending extensions. The Freedom Caucus had been pushing for $120 billion in cuts below the $1.59 trillion budget cap level agreed to in June. The caucus opposed that agreement. Their softened stance now gives Speaker Johnson room to negotiate a bipartisan spending deal and resolve a litany of other differences, including a Senate attempt to spend more than the debt ceiling cap allows. Freedom Caucus Chairman Scott Perry said that the group can go along with the higher budget caps, but in return, caucus members will insist that no budget gimmicks are used to allow spending above that number. That would mean that a handshake side deal struck between Biden and former Speaker Kevin McCarthy to count $20 billion in future funds for the Internal Revenue Service. But experts say service cuts would have to be thrown aside. Senators from both parties are also attempting to add $14 billion in spending by designating it an emergency not subject to the cap. GOP lawmakers have also pushed for cuts to Social Security, stating that this could help solve the program's funding shortfall. The House has struggled to pass spending bills, adhering to the Freedom Caucus's number, given a refusal of Democrats to go along and divisions among Republicans. Bills funding the Department of Agriculture, U.S. Treasury, Commerce, and Labor, among many others, have failed to pass. Speaker Johnson told Senate Republicans behind closed doors on Wednesday that if such deal on the full-year appropriation bills is not struck by February 2nd, the House will pass a full-year stopgap bill with programs frozen at current levels. That may trigger a 1% across-the-board cut to defense and non-defense spending at the end of April 2024. Senator Mitt Romney has also insisted on solving the climbing U.S. national debt urgently. He has backed his proposal of creating a commission to tackle this problem at the House Budget Committee hearing. His latest legislation, the Fiscal Stability Act, which was co-sponsored by Senator Joe Manchin, would take on the national debt. The debt currently exceeds $33.8 trillion, more than double the amount it was 1 decade ago. Since being proposed, the bill has earned bipartisan support from Senators Kyrsten Sinema and John Cornyn. Mitt Romney said the Fiscal Stability Act avoids some of the challenges associated with the National Commission on Fiscal Responsibility and Reform. In the past, it earned criticism for its recommendations of increasing the Social Security retirement age, reducing military and domestic spending, and also hiking taxes. Romney and Manchin's proposal would create a bipartisan and bicameral commission made up of 15 members, of which 12 are elected officials and 4 are outside experts. The commission would have the sole objective of stabilizing debt as a share of the GDP, with all spending on the table for consideration. That is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dear friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, every Friday I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.